Hello Los Ranchos School students, this is Teresa Tree, and today I'm going to start putting native plants. Those are plants that are from California originally, and put them in the ground, and they're going to attract the butterflies to come. And so let me show you the plants and then show you where we're going to plant them and how we're going to plant them. It's going to have your own butterfly garden. Okay, here we go. Had to turn the camera around. Now, native plants from California are drought tolerant, meaning they don't need much water. However, they need some water. This one didn't get water all week, so it's drooping. Sage, buckwheat, yarrow, California lilac. Okay, let's get them some water. Give them a bit of drink. You need water to drink, so do plants. Okay, the next step is decide where your plants are going to go and which plant is going to go where. And you dig a hole. So, for example, I decided to put the monkey flower. It's already starting to look better because I gave it some water. When you dig your holes and put your plant to measure, you want the width to be twice, but the depth to be just once. In other words, dig as deep as this pot, but go twice as wide as that pot. Monkey flower right there. We're going to take them out of the pots in a minute. And moonshine yarrow is going to be next, right here next to the sign for the butterfly garden. And then we're going to have a collection of sage bushes. We already have one sage bush there. I'm guessing it's probably Salvia macrophylla, which is the purple. I believe that's correct. And then there's another one called chicory sage. Might be Alan Chicorine sage though. That's named after a botanist. And then that one's called sagebrush. And then down here in the full sun, that's another factor of where you want to plant. California buckwheat needs full sun and needs to get big. And the lilac, this one's called Point Sierra, California lilac. Some lilacs are getting really big, and this one looks like it'd be more in the medium to small size because the leaves are so small. But as you can see, some bushes get big. Over here behind the apple tree is another California native plant on the other side of the fence. That's a coyote bush. See how big it's gotten? It's as big as the apple tree. Okay, so I used this pickaxe right here. Oops, there it is, pickaxe. And it's good for rocky soil, hard soil. It really helps break up the soil. So I did that first. And then you use your shovel to go down deeper and to scoop stuff out. Okay, remember you want it to be deep enough for the gallon pot to fit into. So here's the gallon pot. Kind of use your hand, you can go across from where the soil is, and you want the same level. So you want to plant just at the soil level. Okay, so I'm planting all these plants on the high part of the hill, and then behind it, it starts sloping down. We're going to build what's called a retaining wall, so that we'll have kind of like a berm, a strong hillside that's reinforced with either concrete blocks or with railroad ties. You make like in a little wall to retain the soil so that the soil doesn't run downhill and erode away. Talking about soil, for native plants, we're just going to use the native soil. Over here I do have a pile of soil amendment, a compost, and we're going to use that to grow the vegetables, but we don't need it to grow the California native plants. Okay, the next step is to put water down in the hole so that when you plant, the roots will already have something to drink. If the hose doesn't fit, you can use a bucket. These are called 5-gallon buckets. So I'm filled it up to about 1. gallon. All right, so I'm going to put that water in the hole. And then you let it seep, you let it soak down in there. You can tell that the soil is hard clay because it's taking a while for the soil to absorb the water. Once it does, then I will plant. Okay, so when you're planting, how do you get your yarrow, in this case, out of the container? You squeeze it on the sides. You go all the way around, and then it should kind of come out gently. There it comes. Kind of like giving birth. And then there's roots. You got to break apart some of the roots because otherwise they go around and around in a circle, just like they did in the pot in the container. And then you take it, plop it down in there. Whoops, got something attached here. And what I'm noticing is too low, so I'm going to take it out and put some soil back into the hole. Then put your plant back in and see if it's matching up. No, it's still too low. Okay, take it out. Put some more soil back in the hole. Put your plant back in. Okay, still a little bit too low on one side. So take it out. Put a little bit more soil in. There we go. Now the plant is even with the soil level. Another technique I like to call the plant dance. Take your boots, go around in a circle next to the plant. Let the soil get snug around the roots. It helps protect them. And then the other thing you want to do is to build back on the back side of the hill so that water doesn't erode away the soil. You make a little berm. Let me show you down here. Okay, you make like a little ring around the plant, and then on the back you build up the soil to be higher, and it's its own like little mound of soil, kind of like when you're digging sand castles, a little moat. Okay. Wow, look at the monkey flower. I took it out of the pot, and it has all these roots that go round and round and round and round. That's called root bound. There's too many roots, so you break them apart so that the roots can go outwards instead of round and round in circles. So monkey flower is the common name, and then there's a scientific name that's in Latin. That's Mimulus. And then there's a varietal name. This one is named after somebody, Eleanor. All right, so there's different varieties of different plants. For example, the buckwheat is called Eriogonum, and then there's a variety in quotes named Warner Little. Okay, all the plants are planted. One last technique is to take and mulch. I just happen to have all this straw right here, so I'm going to take it and put it around the base of the plant. That keeps the water more moist longer, retains moisture, keeps the weeds down, and then over time the straw decomposes and turns into a plant compost, a nutrient for the moonshine yarrow. The butterflies like to visit yellow plants and plants that have big flowers, so that's the moonshine yarrow. Okay, here's the moonshine yarrow with the straw mulch around it. You can also use wood chips, but I just happen to have the straw. I like to call it the nest. Looks like it has a little nest around it. You don't put the straw right next to the plant, but you put it all the way around and around. And then the last step I like to do is to water it one more time. Give the plant some top water on the surface, and also to keep this straw in place. Kind of just makes it snug in there, like tucking it in. Okay, all the plants are in the ground. I love native plants. If I was to go back to college, I would become a botanist, someone who studies the plants. Take classes with Matt Ritter, the professor. You learn all the botanical names. You learn why they were named that, and the whole history and folklore around them, as well as how to grow them, how to classify them, how to get people to be interested in native plants and what they're good for, all of that. So that would make me happy and healthy and smart, and it would do the same for the environment. All right, take good care. Bye.